going. Ah, it's gonna rain.
A 30-year-old man suffered serious injuries after he fell while hiking the Koko Head Trail yesterday. We've learned his case was the fourth rescue this year already at the popular trail, again raising more safety concerns about the condition of the stairs. Nikki Shenfield with more on a plan to make the trail safer.
It's become one of the most popular spots on Oahu.
We're seeing a huge influx of more people hiking Koko Head, and a good portion of them are visitors. It now seems to be one of those things where you have to do it. You come to Oahu, you have to hike Koko Head.
Many say the increased traffic is putting a strain on the 70-year-old trail.
In the past 3.5 years, I've definitely seen an increase on the trail, and the trail shows major wear and tear. We're just, even going back and looking through pictures of different spots, you can see a difference because of all the use.
According to the Honolulu Fire Department, they were called to Koko Head Trail 12 times in 2017. That number doubled in 2018 to 29. And just a week and a half into the new year, the number is already at 4.
This past 5 years, we've seen it deteriorate significantly. And the deterioration is accelerating.
The Coconut Coalition has been trying to fix the highly used trail and is looking to partner with the city.
Well, it's considered an unsanctioned trail, and there are signs at the bottom of the trail that say just that you are hiking at your own risk.
The group says they're already in talks with the city.
They are interested in rehabilitating, to doing some work on this trail to making it safer. They are looking to the Coconut Coalition to lead the way on this, and we're happy to.
The city says the site does not undergo regular maintenance, and there is signage indicating caution.
Popular hiking trail is facing erosion problems after Tropical Storm Olivia, and now a coalition is stepping up to hopefully change things. Koko Head Crater, the trail there sees hundreds, if not more, hikers every day. But the Coconut Coalition, made up of hikers who use the trail almost daily, say the base of the tramway tracks that lead up the mountain is eroding. The recent heavy rains have helped, making it even more dangerous.
It is entirely possible, if there was a major storm, And Olivia was a major storm. I think it dropped about roughly 7 inches of rain. But if we got the expected 15 inches of rain, much less 30 inches of rain, I think that trail could very well just be a heap of rubble at the bottom of the hill.
So far, the coalition has met with the City Department of Parks and Rec to come up with a solution. We'll continue to follow up and let you know what happens with that popular trail.
Isn't set in stone just yet, but if it is approved in next year's city budget, the group that's pushing for it hopes to earmark at least $100,000 for immediate erosion control and safety repairs.
The erosion is just unbelievable. It's just deteriorated beyond belief to me. The railroad ties are just all falling apart. There are these huge gaps in between the stairs because now you have ties that are missing.
Head enthusiasts have attempted in the past to make their own improvements to the Koko Head Crater Trail, the World War II era tramway tracks that draw in so many locals and visitors.
Decided that we better do something about it, otherwise the trail is just going to disintegrate and we won't have a trail to walk on anymore.
Their group, the Coconut Coalition, says the city asked them to stop doing that, citing liability issues.
We like to think of the city's involvement as being sort of a benign neglect. Benign in the sense that they allow us to hike on the trail. They haven't outlawed it, they haven't closed it, but neglectful in the sense that they haven't done any repairs or maintenance.
The group has been pushing the city to do something. They're excited about the possibility of $1 million in next year's budget to address the crumbling stairway.
From just shoring up the erosion problems that are out there to repairing the ties and to hopefully just making it a safer experience.
The proposal to allocate that money will go before the City Council's Budget Committee on April 3rd. If it's approved, it goes to the full council for a vote.
Later today, we'll talk about the possible funding for the very popular Koko Head Crater Trail.
Dallas Ontiveros is at the trail and has more details. Good morning, Dallas.
Good morning, Ross and Christine. Here at the bottom of the Koko Head Trail, where the trail starts, catching up with hikers, where there's going to be a meeting today in front of the Budget Committee to talk about the possible funding coming to the Koko Head Trail pretty soon.
To figure how many people come up and down this every single day. I mean, thousands, I'm sure. I've been here when there was bees' nests across the bridge at the top. There was people fall in, scraped knees, broken ankles. I've seen it all.
What would you like to see as far as, the city possibly funding this trail in the future?
Sure, I think at least some type of upkeep would really help. I mean, you have to really take into account the amount of tourists that come through here that don't know the landscape and maybe aren't necessarily as athletic as some of the people that come every day. And for them to come and try and show up, this is a pretty moderate or advanced trail. I'd like to see something to make it a little bit easier for them.
People can agree that repairs are needed. It is old and it's very popular, heavily used. Of course, the big thing is, where's that money going to come from? How do you repair it?
Yeah, but the safety is so important because it's so popular and there's so many people, especially when you go on the weekends. It's possible everyone's like crammed and everyone's like passing me and I'm just kind of like getting to the
It is one of Oahu's most popular hiking trails, and it's tough. But there's a new challenge facing hikers there: bees. A viewer alerted us to the problem, so Bridget Namata went to see for herself.
Kathy, anyone who's seen or hiked Koko Crater Trail, better known as Koko Head, knows it isn't a simple trail to do. And while the hundreds of steps haven't hindered its popularity, a new arrival of stinging insects could make it dangerous for some hikers.
1,048 steps to the top. Everyone who makes it feels accomplished once they scale the Koko Crater Trail, but there's a new and potentially dangerous obstacle in the way.
About midway up the top of the mountain is the Koko Head Bridge. Hikers heading up encounter a swarm of bees over on the left side. Some would say the hike is already challenging enough. This doesn't help. At almost every step of the steep climb up the crater, hikers heading down gave us a warning they learned the hard way.
You might want to take the shortcut around because there's a swarm of bees on one of the sides.
Some hikers we spoke with say a warning would have been nice.
I had no idea about that though, going up.
No one mentioned getting stung or anything.
No, thankfully. But yes, there's a lot of bees up there.
We noticed hikers frantically swatting the air as they fought their way past the bees.
They swarm around you, but they don't land on you except one who landed on my leg as I was going up. But on a second shake, I was able to shake them off.
Unfortunately, this guy wasn't so lucky.
One of them landed on the back of my calf and stung me.
Luckily, this hiker was good-natured about it. Others would not have been.
Yeah, because I'm allergic, so I'd probably fall through the bridge. I'd probably fall through.
You find it dangerous?
Oh, heck yeah. A lot of people are allergic to bees, so I don't know if I am because I haven't been stung in a long time. But that's one way you don't want to find out is halfway up the mountain. So, yeah, there's a lot of them up there, too. A lot of them up there.
And a fair warning to those who still want to hike the trail.
And don't wear a light shirt like yellow or nylon because they might charge after you because they think you're a big flower.
We contacted the city to find out what can be done about the bee problem. Parks and Recreation says if anyone encounters a bee problem, call 911. The Honolulu Police Department has a procedure in place to address these concerns.
We told you last week about an increase in swarming bees due to the humid and wet weather. One area seeing a big increase in bees also sees hundreds of hikers a day. We're talking about the Koko Head Crater Trail on Oahu. After our story aired, more hikers shared their frustration with us, saying the bee problem has become worse. They want to know why the city is not taking action. Officials told us last week they're looking for a solution. We wanted to know if it's an easy or hard fix. Brent Ramada got some answers. Brent?
Joe, I reached out to a local beekeeper who is very familiar with the problem on Koko Head. He says he could remove the bees right away, but he doesn't have the approval to do it yet.
Take a hike up the Koko Head Crater Trail and you'll probably come across bees. And it's not just a few.
Looked to be hundreds of them swarming, and I was praying to keep my balance and not be stung.
I'm already not too fond of heights, so seeing the bees didn't really help me going that way anyway, so.
I took the hikers' concerns to beekeeper Steve Montgomery, who agreed to hike the trail and take a look at the situation.
They've been here for months and months. I've been getting reports from hikers about bees up here and what could be done.
Now, as you can see here, the bees are right next to the trail, and many people have concerns, especially in this area where you have to go across a bridge.
I reached out to the city again this week to see what's being done. In a statement, they told me they have received reports and are evaluating the best course of action to safely remove the bees. In the meantime, Montgomery says the city should put up markers to warn people of the dangers.
If they did step on the railroad tie, which is housing this colony, it's a natural defense for the guardians to come out and see what's causing the problem.
Montgomery says he'd be able to remove the bees without harming them, something hikers say would be the best solution.
I think that would be the best thing. You don't hurt the bees and it makes it safer for people to travel up.
I also reached out to Area Councilman Trevor Ozawa. He tells me he will reach out to the City Parks Department to see what action can be taken. And if you come across a swarm of bees, you should never swat at them. Instead, remain calm and slowly walk away.
good.
Firefighters had to evacuate hikers as a brush fire burned dangerously close to a popular trail in Hawaii Kai today. The brush fire started at about noon and burned a total of 10 acres. Heavy smoke covered the Koko Crater Trail and fire crews made airdrops. Sarah Madison was there and spoke with hikers who were on the trail when the fire started.
Kathy, officials closed Koko Head District Park and shooting range while crews battled the blaze. I'm told there was some confusion on the trail when evacuations began, with many hikers at the top unaware of what was going on.
We were up there and we didn't smell or anything, but we saw a bunch of smoke and we were like, what's happening? And
we heard sirens.
Yeah, but we couldn't tell where it was coming from.
Hikers tell me the trail was very crowded. About 30 or more people were at the top.
We had been up for probably 10 minutes at that point or something, and as we turned to go down, we saw that there was smoke at the bottom.
We didn't think it was that big a deal, so we just came down and then we started smelling it, hearing the fire, like feeling the heat from the fire, and then there were firemen stationed along the steps like saying, don't stop, come on.
Hikers had to make their way down through the smoke, which was blowing in their direction.
It was smoky, a little hard to breathe, but it was okay. We were trying to come down fast. I was nervous that the fire was actually going to come to the path, right? So I was thinking that if we started coming down and the fire actually came to the path, like depending on how much the wind was blowing, I guess, that we could get burnt.
I mean, I hope everyone gets down. I know some families got separated at different paces, so hope that happens. Hope they get together.
Thankfully, nobody was injured. Crews extinguished the brush fire about half an hour ago. The Koko Crater Trail has been reopened and the shooting range will reopen tomorrow. The cause of the fire is unknown at this time.
Throughout the weekend, many folks have been finding ways to take a moment to remember those who died on 9/11. Tuesday marks the 11th anniversary. Tammy Morey joined a group of firefighters and families for their second annual Koko Head Memorial Stair Climb.
A group of Honolulu firefighters passed out the pictures of the 343 FDNY members who died trying to save lives during the September 11th attacks.
We're going to carry each and every one of these guys up to the top. Make sure they make it to the top today. Then on the way back down, we're going to make sure they make it all the way back down, which is what they didn't get to do 11 years ago.
Some did the hike wearing more than 25 pounds of gear. With every step, participants were encouraged to reflect on the hard work and sacrifice these men and women made.
At some point up there today, I can almost guarantee your legs will start to burn, your lungs will be on fire, back and start to eat. When that happens, I want you to look down at these, and I want you to ask yourself, what were they thinking?
And as the hikers neared the top of the trail where it gets the steepest, they helped each other out. This group behind me hiked about 1,100 stairs. That's equivalent to about the 110 stories that the fallen firefighters climbed that day.
It was tough. I just kind of kept going, looked down, trucked all the way to the top. Just the motivation of the sacrifice that those guys gave was, you know, that's all the motivation you need, really.
And at the top, they took a moment of silence to remember and thank those heroes who made that journey before them, and to those who made it possible for many survivors to enjoy life and the beauty that surrounds us.
A hiker had to be rescued from Koko Head today after falling about 30 feet. According to the Honolulu Fire Department, at about 11 o'clock this morning, the 37-year-old woman had to be flown out of Koko Head after falling into the crater. She was taken to a nearby landing zone where EMS was waiting, and she was taken to the hospital in serious condition.
Now we want to show you this. This is dramatic video of a rescue of a hiker from the Koko Head Trail. It happened around 11:30 this morning. And here's what we know. The 37-year-old woman apparently slid down the side of the mountain, and that's when they had to race the action. We're told she slid about 30 to 40 feet in an area off the designated trail.
Now that hiker was rescued, and we're told she suffered serious trauma injuries. Thank goodness she got out of there. That's off to HFD again.
Lots of people look up when they're searching for inspiration. One Hawaii woman climbs there. She keeps a prayer box at the top of the Koko Crater Trail. Maybe you've seen it. Now you can see what happens when you leave a prayer there and all the people you have in your corner.
Every week, just before the sun goes down, you can find Angela Tomie climbing these steps, a tough hike with a powerful purpose.
I saw it in a vision. I saw a prayer box on the mountaintop.
She says along with that vision came a message from above.
I heard him say very clear to me, Angela, everybody needs prayer, but not everyone's willing to walk into a church to receive it.
Dozens of messages left by people from around the world.
When paper runs out, it's written on bottle wrappers, Band-Aids, hotel stationery. We've gotten almost anything and everything.
The messages also contain almost anything and everything, but one wish appears most.
The most common prayer has been happiness.
Yeah.
Need water?
Yeah, but I'm good. Thank you. Right at the edge. Yeah, just right before. Yeah,
there's a path that goes, I think.
Yeah, they go around. Yeah, I went to a certain point. I was like, I'm gonna get too tired, so.
Yeah, you gotta come back up, go back down the other side. That's definitely come up here.
Yeah, I know.
Fantastic. We went to the stairs, man. It was just
nice breeze, huh?
Sauna over there, man.
Oh, it was hot. Really? When I was there, it was like nice breeze.
There was no breeze over there.
Oh wow. Okay. All right, man.
All right, brother.
Y'all take it easy. Thank you for the offer. Yeah, I'll just take a little bit, just a little. You sure? All right, boss. I appreciate it, Thank you, yeah. Thank you.
He recommended these.
people don't know where they can go, so they have to go. So they just go off into the side of the trail. And you can see now there's all these like little paths that are, yes, it's not pretty.
It's no secret the stairs up Koko Crater have been falling apart. Now hikers report foul smells and ugly sights just off the trail. That's on top of all the other ongoing concerns about crowds, safety, and erosion.
The City Council just approved $1 million for repairs, but the smelly situation is another matter.
When hiking outdoors, sometimes Mother Nature calls.
Yes, it's become a toilet bowl.
And with hordes of visitors to the Koko Head Tramway, regulars say hikers sometimes go off-trail when it's urgent.
No, who wants to run into defecation and urination or whatever else? Let's see.
Council Budget Chair and Koko Head hiker Joey Monahan earmarked $1 million for improvements to the eroded trail. Residents say with tour buses and all the cars, this popularity problem is getting worse.
The neighborhood leading to Koko Head District Park is quieter now, but residents along Anapalau and Kaumakani streets say 30 or more cars start staging here as early as 4 o'clock in the morning. And that's because the city signs say the park opens at 4 a.m., but the gate doesn't open until 6:30.
The city says it has been successful in reducing vandalism and illegal activity in the park. As for all those hikers,
if they're coming, then they're more than welcome to come. It's just up to us how we're going to be able to mitigate that here in the city.
While the park already has a comfort station, city leaders say the initial investment into this much-loved resource is just a start.
Yeah, thank you. Shit. Excuse me. Thank you. Can I get 3 custards? Yeah, that's it. All right. Thank you. Nah, I'm good.